Hey guys, Matt Jones in Osaka in Japan. Actually, just at Osaka Station or Amida Station, which is pretty central to the city itself. So it's maybe an unusual place to be checking in on the 10th of February, which is the what does it make that? That makes it the 41st day of friendship. Yeah, 41st day of friendship in this 100 days to harvest. When I'm looking at through those windows, there is the shop front for Max Brenner chocolates, Max Brenner cafes. Some of you might know. And I just wanted to, I wasn't planning to make this recording here. I'm planning to go somewhere where I'll be tomorrow, and you'll know why it's relevant then in Japan to be telling a story about Australia. But I did want to just quickly pause for a moment, having seen Max Brenner there, and just open the question: what makes a relationship between Australia and Korea, unique or particular for those two countries? What makes it a particular friendship? And here, largely, I'm talking about a proposition that is offered often by business, where business will use the word friendship as a proxy for having good trade and export. And here's the store here, Max Brenner Chocolate Bar. It's initiated a thing in 2000 in Sydney. Many of you know the Paddington store on Oxford Street. Now there's plenty more stores across Australia, and it's headquartered out of New York, set up by an Israeli guy who he practiced his craft, I think, in Israel, and then moved to Australia. Met a guy who was able to bankroll a business, started it, and now it's quite successful. The reason I point out the place here, here's the line just here. Here's the waiting line for people to go inside. So it's quite popular. There's Max Brenner's in Seoul, and it's really popular there as well. It's a brand. It's probably not known as Australian, and I don't know if the Max Brenner himself or the company would call themselves Australian, given that they're now global and they've got a headquarters in the US. But I guess that's what I wanted to sort of touch on, is as we start getting toward the second half of this 100 days to harvest, I'm going to focus more on the business engagement between Australia and Korea, because I think that's where a lot of the discussion on a national level is going, has been going, and will be going in the future. And I want to just unpack that a little bit and explore it further, because understanding that, I think, helps us to really get a better understanding of why the friendship is so particular, or are we just using words, is really what I want to explore. I think there certainly is merit to talking about the friendship between Australia and Korea, particularly when addressing it from a business perspective. And I think the fact that there is a Max Brenner chocolate bar here in Japan, and that it's headquartered in the US, doesn't take away from the connections between Australia and Korea. And for example, Paul Barrett is another coffee store which has done exceedingly well in Korea. It's got many outlets there. I don't know if they're franchises or owned by one company, but just food for thought. I guess it's really opening a conversation on where I'm going to take some of these future little episodes, and by doing so, I'm hoping I'll start to myself understand that better and take you on that journey as well. So it's not necessarily, it's a business. It's not necessarily an Australian business, but it has its roots in Australia. It operates in Korea, I've never spoken to people at Max Brenner. I don't know what their thoughts would be in Korea, whether it would be an expression of connection, friendship, partnership between Australia and Korea. But it is interesting just to stop and see an Australian brand, or a brand that began in Australia, not necessarily an Australian brand, and just ask, okay, when are we talking about the friendship between Australia and Korea, and when is it simply a business that is global, that has links with Australia and Korea? Is it more than just a convenience to weave that narrative, or is there merit to the story? Like I said, tomorrow I'm going somewhere quite relevant, I think, to this story as well. Although it's sort of a little bit of a footnote in history, it's still one that's important. I'm getting on a train, going somewhere else now. I'll report from there, but it's good to be in Japan briefly, and I hope you're all doing well too. Take care.